Ah, my people, what is going on here? First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. Now, let me say this. This is CIA. This is Intelligent Agendas. This is also Game Week 20. And one thing I want to emphasize, and one thing that I'm doing out of my commitment to be as consistent as I can, is to have the show as I originally planned. Now, I did not plan for the result that was going to happen. I obviously did not expect the performances or the issues within the game to have happened. And I know many people are live right now. All right. I'm emphasizing going live because for me, it's a little bit of a test to see who's got the notifications, who's going to be here, who's going to help with the conversation. Now, I sent the blue moon signal out. Those that are able to join, cool. I know True City fans live right now. I know professors out there, and I know there's a lot of people creating content with regards to what's happening right now. A lot of scared people, a lot of emergencies, right? A lot of issues, concerns, crisis. I'm going to stay as consistent as I can. And I hope you all appreciate that. Very first in the building to show some love, to be there in the comments, and hopefully hit that like button. And it is in the mix. I got to shout out Love in the building. He goes, we will be there. Hopefully I'm UTC. What's that? 2 hours. Is it a 2 hour difference? You give me a time zone? What? Hopefully you'll be there. But listen, Love, let me point this out. We had a poor result versus Chelsea. We also saw favorable results for who we are chasing in this league. All right. So obviously yesterday in an important game, you had Arsenal play Bournemouth. Semenyo, still a player over there. Semenyo had a good game, by the way. It was good to actually watch him play. But we saw Semenyo do his thing. Now, one, I completely expected Arsenal to win. Two, I did not see them conceding 2 goals. Is that a talking point? Is that something to kind of emphasize? Maybe. There's always areas to sprinkle in some doubt, some concern, some things to look at. But as we look at Game Week 20, I'm really going to focus on Manchester City and Arsenal. Aston Villa, we're tied in points, but should we really be looking over our shoulder right now? I think we should be looking forward. As well as good as Aston Villa have been playing, I think we should still look over our shoulder. Or we shouldn't be looking over shoulder. We should be looking forward. You got Liverpool are 34 points. So that's still a considerable gap, but 34 points. And then you got Chelsea, 31 points. And I think Chelsea and United are all tied with the same amount of points. So it's very congested. Those guys can fight it out. I'm not going to punch downhill. I'm not going to punch down. I'm going to look forward. So looking forward, it's Arsenal of emphasis. I know from a crisis standpoint, emergency meeting standpoint, you're going to want to include Aston Villa. But let's keep our sights on Arsenal. They won 3-2. So just for the record, just to kind of even things out. And I see y'all in the comments. I'll be there. Please hit that like button as you're coming in. All right. Game Week 20, which we're in. And you can see by how I had to choose this thumbnail. It is disappointing. I had my head down with regards to how did this happen. But Game Week 20 still leaves us with a lot of football left to play. All right. We're past the halfway mark, obviously. We got 18 more games to play. Every Arsenal fan is going to tell you about the fixture list and how we have the tougher fixture list moving forward. And they have the easier one. They're also reminding us on how deep their squad is, and we have the weaker squad. I've said this, and we're going to be consistent with the intelligent agendas that we establish. We were never favorites for this league. If we're going to win this league, it's because Arsenal are going to hand it to us. And I'm going to bring agents to the stage, so thank you also very much for being a part of the show. But this was never City as favorites to win this league, but this was City as us, City fans, being confident that we could win it. We have a team now that have gotten stronger, healthier, and we're seeing the injury plague hitting us right now. We've got to see how the manager fixes up and deals with it. Let me shout out each and every time, even no matter how difficult the day is, no matter how down I might feel, I got my gal. No matter how bad it is, in the building. And Rose goes, Vader, I'm trying to find the positive. We didn't lose, however, was not good enough. I'm trying to find the positives as well. And on CIA, we are going to share some of those positives, Rose. We absolutely will. I see Zane in the building. Zane goes, don't be thinking we can do you. Don't be thinking we can do you a favor next week, Vader. Wait, Zane. If I remember correctly, you guys have a undefeated run going on right now. It's going to be two undefeated runs colliding with each other. What's going to give? I'm not looking for any favors, Zane. I never have. But when you guys have been doubted, you tend to not do what's expected of you. So it's going to be an interesting one. Listen, and I just realized this as I was setting up this show. The agent that I want to bring to the stage, I got to adjust my audio because I realized something's kind of off with it, but I'm going to play it for now. I'm going to play it and kind of cut it short, but apologies because I know I need to clean this up. Let me go to it right now. Yeah, I knew I needed to fix that. I'm so annoyed by it. But I got an agent in the building. Hopefully the audio is nice and clean. I got Spartacus in the building. Spartacus, what are you saying?
Not bad. How are you guys doing?
We're not bad. We're not great, but we're not bad. There's a lot going on tonight. I'm sure you're probably notifications are going off everywhere. Group chats, Twitter X chats, WhatsApp chats, everything's firing off. I wanted to be consistent with this show. Two, I know that there's a lot out there, so people are all over the place. But before we talk about the rivals, let's keep it internal. Let's talk about Manchester City. Let's talk about what we had to deal with regards to this game. We've all watched it. I think we would all agree that we were wasteful in possession and wasteful in the position of attack. Is there anything you might want to also add in terms of something to focus or be aware of, or you in agreement with that?
I agree with that. I would just like us to focus on the fact that we need to keep Joshua Vardy fit. I think he is just as important as Rodriguez.
I would agree with you. Especially for who isn't available in his absence. We haven't had a healthy Ake or John Stones for a very long time, and in terms of experience, in terms of just awareness, in terms of reading the game, even ball distribution, trusted on the ball, there's no one that we have with the lack of Ake and Stones. But I don't know how we keep him fit. It's difficult to keep a defender fit, right? Like a defender's got to play. Managing their fitness from a center back standpoint is tough. What would you say might be something to minimize or prevent or best manage for Gvardiol?
It's a tough one because back in the day, we could afford to have two average ball playing centre backs because we had basically a 11th man on the ball in Edison. So we could do it, especially because he was also left-footed. So we weren't as dependent on the left-sided left-footed centre back as we are now.
Yeah.
So if we, and I don't think Diaz and Kusanov are both bad on the ball. I think they're actually quite decent on the ball, to be completely honest. But we've seen today that as soon as Josko left the pitch, we just couldn't keep the ball to save our lives.
Yeah.
Like we just were hoofing the ball at every time. The ball kept getting to the fullbacks, but in bad position, so they had their back to goals and had just to turn and take a bump up the field to try and release pressure, and then Haaland had to fight off a centre back to get to it. We had
Yeah.
to fight off the midfield for the single ball, and it became a mess. So,
I also feel like it
question
was a
mark?
difficult game, and I got an agent backstage that I'm going to bring forward in a bit. But the game management, I didn't have too much of an issue with. Like it wasn't until late where I was like, you know what, we're playing a little too risky here, and I didn't feel that way until after, like you just mentioned earlier to start the show, you mentioning Gavardio being subbed off. Like I think that gave Chelsea a lot more confidence when they saw that particular player and his skill set and what he's able to do leave the pitch. It didn't. It also hurt us that we lost Diaz as well, right? Like those are two key guys defensively that I think gave Chelsea the, like, you know what, let's go get it. Let's go after this. Now, how do I put this? We've been playing with the same 11, 12, 13 players for a while now. And I'm not going to do revisionist and being like, you know what, Pep should have played lesser informed players. I'm going to pose this question to you. Do you have any criticism of the last 3-4 games player management wise from Pep?
Really, no, because I don't think there is much he can do.
Okay.
Because we already have a lot of injuries, right?
Yeah.
Rodri literally just came back. Stone's out. Ake has a knee problem. He was a worry to even be on the pitch. That's why I'm not gonna really be criticizing Ake too much. Kiosko is now down injured. We have Nico Gonzalez going down injured, and we couldn't really rotate him because we didn't have Rodri fit. So
Right.
he had to play. He had to be spammed out. Doc was injured, so we had to play
Doku's injured. We
Savio.
had to play Savinho, and Savinho getting hurt. Like it's been a difficult run. Now I'm gonna bring the next agent to the stage. And listen, what I've noticed a lot is that people want to know. People want you to point out what was wrong and how it would have prevented, because everyone has the answer, right? Everyone's going to be in the emergency meetings, in the crisis meetings, they're all going to be like, Pep should have done this, City should have done this is what I would have done. So I'm going to ask the agent that I'm going to bring to the stage, I'm going to go be really, really direct. Is there something that he would have done if he was an assistant manager sitting next to Pep? Would he have done something differently to have closed out the extra time minutes of that game versus Chelsea? And let me introduce this next agent. Conway in the building. Hope you're good, man. And hey, I should have said this to each and every one of you. Happy New Year. Hopefully I'm wishing you guys an amazing 2026. How you doing, Conway?
I'm good, Ray. I'm good. Happy New Year to everyone as well. It's a blessing in itself that we've seen another year. So I think we have to be grateful for that. I just want to say the game today at the start of it, the club owner and everyone that died last year or passed away last year, I think that was a very, very good tribute to all the people that we lost. So it just puts life into perspective. I'm glad, man. God willingly, we get to see 2027 and 2028, all those years as well. But yeah, I'm good, man. What's going on?
I'm good. It's one of those, like there's always the what ifs, the what should have done, what should have happened, had it been me. Now, not even the full 90, because we'll have that conversation as the show goes on. But the final extra time minutes, when you saw it was 6 minutes, what were you hoping, or what would you have wanted City to do to close out that game?
I think the last minutes of the game was very tough. I feel like we just had a period of, it was just back and forth transitions between us and Chelsea. So we didn't even have the opportunity to get control of the ball. I think what we could have tried is try and kick it along to Chelsea's half and try and see if we can hold the ball there. I think we did do that in one instance with Doku, but he lost the ball.
I thought he got fouled, but
there was a lot of shaky decisions that Michael Oliver was making today as referee, but obviously we're going to touch on that. But those last minutes, I think the leading up to Chelsea's goal, I think we can only put ourselves at fault there because I don't know O'Reilly's defensive stance when Gusto is the one that's going past him. I mean, even him standing up like that as a defender, you're taught from young that if you're gonna try to defend someone that's trying to get past you in a 1v1, always stand in a sort of a side position so you're ready to go if he does get past you. But you're just stood right in front of him.
Flat-footed.
And then when he does get past you, you don't have enough time for you to even try and catch up to Gusto, which then allows him to put up all into the to cross it into the box. So I think O'Reilly defensively he was shocking in that and leading up to Chelsea's goal there. But that all of that should have never happened in the first place, because even if Chelsea did score that goal and they made it 1-1. It should have been 3-1 because we missed a plethora of chances before Chelsea scored their goal, man. And that's the most annoying part of this game.
It was killer. Go ahead, Spartacus.
I just think that, yes, Nick O'Reilly did it wrong. I think he got it wrong. His body shape is all messed up. But you can see that the kid is knackered.
That's why I'm not fully getting up here.
Nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. The fatigue was evident, and I said this on my match reaction. So I have a very strong running background, but once someone puts their head down and is looking at the ground to try and power through, they're done. Like, he was trying to pull every possible ounce of power or energy to try to sprint back, but he did himself a disservice by being so flat-footed, being so square, and then once he got past, he wasted so much time having to turn around. And not only that, he stuck out a leg too. He stuck out like a lazy tackle to try to stab at the ball. And then, and again, it doesn't just fall on him because he does his best to try to get back, but then obviously Gusto has to deliver a great cross. It's got to get past two of our defenders, essentially, that didn't react well either. And I thought Donnarumma did well to again, initially stop it, but that's a difficult, fully stretched. You're not really catching that and bringing that in. So
I think he could have done much better.
Oh, of course you do, Spartacus. Of course you do. Let me hear it. Break it down for me.
He has both hands on the ball at a point. I'm not telling him to catch it, but if you have two hands on the ball, you have to just redirect it away from the opposition. He puts it literally on his foot, on Enzo's foot. I think he needs to do so much better.
Wait, what? Because you know what you're saying. It's not even humanly possible in that situation.
Spartacus really.
I've watched that back like 4 or 5 times already. I'm like, I expect him to do much better in that.
This is rough. Spartacus,
really
you've had some very aggressive opportunities to take your to have your criticism of Donnarumma. I don't think this is the right one, because go ahead.
This isn't coming from me having a quote unquote agenda on the guy. I actually think that for the first half, I've messaged this to Ed before. I think that was the best 45 minutes he had in the Manchester City shirt. His passing was very good, saved a couple of shots, sweeping very, very much on point. Okay. But then at the point that Josko went out of the field, he just collapsed. His mentality went to shit. Like, he was hoofing every ball. His shot stopping decreased severely. Coming up for corners, for crosses, just stood his line. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's an actual goalkeeper about this goal specifically. He's the one that told me that he can't do better in that one, but he also has to stop the cross as well, because the cross is not made in a position where the defender can really react, because any wrong movement is an own goal from the defender. So it is on the keeper to come out and actually just stop the cross in that position, and he just stands there and waits for the ball to get hit. And once it does, I think it's terrible goalkeeping from him.
You think he should have stopped the cross before it goes across his goal?
I think the moment,
because he's center of his box. You're thinking he should have like obviously stepped off his line. He should have stepped off his line.
He sees that there is nobody really that's gonna get in the near post, so he needs to take a couple of steps to get into the near post to catch the ball before anybody can get in the far post. And as he didn't do that, the save needs to be so much better, because he has enough power to just redirect that, because Enzo doesn't put any power in the ball. If Enzo puts power on the ball, then fair enough. You just gotta try and get your hand into it. But Enzo, because Ake touches the ball, Enzo actually just scuffs the shot, and the ball is very, very slow. Very slow.
Chat, let me know if you guys agree that Donnarumma should have done better. One, initially stopping the cross, and two, maybe even with regards to getting two hands on the ball. I think I'm gonna go back and watch it. In the moment, I was like, I hate that defensively we didn't read it and have the same urgency or quickness to get to the ball like Enzo did, but it was such a late goal. Now, this question I asked Spartacus, I'm gonna ask you, Conway, because I already know that it's gonna go down with regards to the City fans and other conversations. Is there any hammering, any criticism of Pep with regards to the starting 11 or the injuries that we suffered? Does that fall to Pep's feet?
Yeah, no. The fan base is losing its mind right now as we speak. I think everywhere is mayhem galore. But I think the injuries and the squad management side of things. You look at our last three games: Forest, Sunderland, and obviously today, Chelsea. Sunderland, Nico G went down. You have to sub him off and play Rodri. Rodri getting back after quite a while not playing. You have Ruben Diaz and Gavardio, who today got injured. It's funny because when Ruben Diaz got injured, or before he got injured, we were going to bring on Ake for O'Reilly, because O'Reilly has been absolutely tired, and we only had to take Diaz off because he's the one that actually felt something, and we had to bring him off before it became a more severe injury for Diaz. So I think in terms of squad management and how the players look today, and obviously in our last games, I don't know how we can put our finger towards Pep. The one thing that you can do, however, is before the AFCON started, and we had Mamouche and I Nouri just sat on the bench, and we didn't spread those minutes across the likes of O'Reilly and maybe for a Doku or Haaland, for example, where Mamouche could have got those minutes as well, spread between those two guys. Then you could have said, yeah, Pep should have done better in that regard. I feel like across these last three games, from a squad perspective, I don't think he has that much to do, because I don't think that you look at our bench today, we've got at least 5 academy players on there.
Yeah,
you bring in
bench was light.
You bring in a Divine Mukasa. Are you really going to bring him in this game when you have the likes of Reece James, Enzo in midfield, and how physical Chelsea were today, by the way? Because there was a lot of times in the first half where they were just doing fouls after fouls, and somehow they got away with a yellow card, which pissed me off.
So, Conway, before you move on from that point, I am asking Pep, in his Jedi mind trick, Mr. Miyagi, just get into your mind, he needs to get this message to the refs, because they're letting too many, I'm going to say, continued movement that are fouls go unnoticed. Because we were seeing it in the Sunderland game. Actually, we were seeing it in the Forest game, and we definitely saw it in this Chelsea game, where it's that extra step that's near the Achilles, by the ankle, on top of the foot. Those add up. And it wasn't anything crazy severe for why Gavardio left the pitch. Like, you could see that there was some contact and awkward step, but it wasn't like something.
No, but did you see what Cole Palmer did to Gavardio in the first half? What Cole Palmer did?
Yeah, I did. And it's funny on how I think even the commentator said, because they showed a little close up with Cole Palmer talking to the ref and being like, I didn't touch him. And the commentator kind of joking like, Cole, you definitely did touch him. But that's what I'm saying. Those late steps, those catching the Achilles, catching the ankle, I don't know how they're not in the booth saying, hey, listen, you missed one.
You got to keep an eye on that, yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
And Delap should have got, this is what I wanted to say as well about the referee. Delap today should have got sent off. What he did to Kusanov, if you're pushing someone towards the advertisement board, which, by the way, I've actually felt one of those boards. You know, the advertisement.
Solid hard plastic.
It's solid as hell.
Yeah.
How? Because Kusanov defensively won that when they were running. Kusanov's fast. He got the ball. He barged him a little bit, but the lap didn't fall. He's literally pushing him towards the board. Do you know how much bodily harm you can cause towards a player if something happens to them? They could be stretched off, and luckily nothing happened to Kusanov. But the lap should have got sent off for that. And I know it's not, you don't usually get red cards for stuff like that, but with the way he pushed him towards that board, that is a sending off. Because anything can happen to him in terms of his head could have got smashed.
His shoulder,
he could have dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, bro, a lot of stuff could have happened.
No, I thought it was dirty. Go ahead, Spartacus.
Xavier literally got injured because he hit the billboard too hard. Last game. Yeah. The same could have happened to Kusanov. It's a very dangerous thing to do, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I hated it once I saw it, and I also hated his reaction. I was like, this guy. I think the ref was right to have the talking to. He gave him a yellow, but I agree with you, Conway. There is, when you're at top speed, there's you trying to slow down, and then when you're being pushed, it's different. I'm glad, and I hope when we hear in terms of player availability, injury-wise, tomorrow, the next day, everything's okay. I'm already prepared not to get the best of news tomorrow. And, classic Pep being like, well, we'll see after training. But we've got such a short list of available players in a series of games that are going to be every 4 days. Now, we aren't doing this here at CIA. Those of you in the chat, you're going to hear this elsewhere. So if those are the things you want to hear, you're not going to get it here. You're not going to get City did not do enough in the in the summer transfer window. You're not going to get City for 2-3 seasons, didn't sign this player, didn't sign that. If you're looking for that, you're not getting it here. We're going to talk about today's game, the available players, what we may do in the January transfer window, what we still see as opportunities or gaps or weaknesses. We're going to notice that. But to do the whole revisiting, and I had to deal with this when I featured over on Egal's channel with regards to the title race and what this means moving forward, and this is in the same city from 2-3 seasons ago. Well, yeah, of course it's not. Like, we're not the same club from 3-4 seasons ago, and nor would we want to be. It's always a constant change. I think Pep is doing his best to establish a new set of winners, a new set of players that know what the standard is, and it's going to be disappointing at times with how players react or don't react. The reason why I want to bring up the rotation and the players that we've seen and not seen is because we're going to hear on quote-unquote Pep not managing the right players. You mentioned Marmoush and Ait Nouri. We could disagree with the approach. A side of me thinks that Pep looked at who was available to play and at the same time chose to not have Ait Nouri and Marmoush as starters, but more so with regards to Marmoush as a player to be subbed on, because we've seen it on how players get really dependent. Like, there's that codependency and that familiarity where it's hard to kind of like reset it. I don't think he wanted to have a system so in place that had Marmoush as a regular, and then not have him because you got to go to AFCON. Now, some could disagree and be like, well, Pep, you always know when they're going to leave for AFCON, so you could kind of phase him in, phase him out. But if others want to say, you know what, he poorly managed those 2 players, I'll entertain it. I think he's gonna have them heavily involved when they come back from AFCON. And he was doing them a service to make sure that they were available for the AFCON and maybe playing them sparingly. Would Spartacus or Conway you want to challenge that, or you're kind of like, yeah, that might be a workable theory? Where you at on that?
I also think that they were just not good enough, especially I know the times he had to feature in, he was not good enough. And O'Reilly was just ridiculously
O'Reilly
good.
was in ridiculous form. I would agree. And the injury to Aitnori didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically after the injury, I don't think he came back playing his best football. I think he was poor,
Okay.
very poor. And Mamouche, I think Mamouche is a tough one because I think he suffered from the same thing that O'Reilly, not O'Reilly, I know he did.
Okay.
Realistically, the only place that Mamouche can actually play is on that left wing because he's not going to displace Haaland. So
Yeah.
he was fighting Doku, and the form that Doku was on was ridiculous. So you couldn't really drop Doku either. So it's a tough one. Should they have played more? Probably yes. Could we afford to drop the players that were performing at that time? Probably no.
Yeah. Like when people want to say that, when people want to say these players should have played more, well, okay, tell me, who are we dropping? And don't tell me, Savino should have never started a game because, well, you're quote unquote, you're dropping the player that was playing on the regular, which would have been Doku, and so rather than Doku, it would have been said player in terms of Marmouche, and you still have to give some rotation up for Marmouche not to play every game. So this is where I'm like, I hear it. He could have sprinkled in a little more availability of these players, but to say that where we are at with regards to the injury is because of Pep's management, I can't hear it. I just can't. Let me go to the comments real quick. I see C's in the building. He goes, Vader, when there's 9 players out, does it help the manager saying I don't want to sign anyone? Now, I don't know if either of you have seen the press conference. I haven't as of yet. Let me share something real quick with everybody in the chat. I like to give you my unfiltered take, my observations completely. Okay? I like to do that first. And then I like to be influenced with what the manager, because obviously the manager is the most ITK that we know. I like to hear what the manager says and hear things after the fact. If Pep happened to say that he doesn't want to sign any more players, understand that he needs to show that he thinks he's got the players good enough to win. I think there's a little bit of psychology here where he's like, these players are good enough for me to win this. I don't need to go out and get more players. If it's from an injury standpoint, the club will make those decisions, right? The manager's got to speak in a certain way. If it looks like we are going to be at a huge disadvantage, players not being available for, I would say, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, if we're looking at something like that, I think despite what the manager says, the club goes out and get said players. I wouldn't put too much weight in terms of when Pep says, I don't want another player. I think that's more PR talk than it is I'm opposed to signing anyone. What would you say, Spartacus?
I also think that you can't really buy a player because somebody got injured for 2 months. You can't buy a player to play 2 months.
No, that's not true. You can. That's not true. If someone gets injured for 2 months, you go sign someone, especially defensively. Because our defensive depth is shocking. And I tweeted this after the game. Because we now have, obviously our next game is Brighton, and we don't play a Premier League match, I think, maybe 2 weeks after Brighton. Because there's a FA Cup and Carabao Cups in between that. That is a window, because it's still going to be in the month of January. That is a period where you can assess all these defenders, Gvardio, Diaz, how long is Stones going to be out for as well. You look at all those 3 players, you look into the fact that one of Stones or Ake, maybe even both of them are potentially going to leave in the summer. Maybe one could go this month. This is the opportunity now that club has to go and bring in a defender, because we desperately need one. The only people that you can actually rely on to stay fit currently is Kusanov, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I think
what did Pep say? What did Pep say today after the game? He said even though Ake came off the bench when Diaz and Gvardio got injured, he said Ake can't play regularly. Pep said that verbatim after the match.
Ake has a knee issue.
Exactly. So that's
it
my whole
flares
point.
up
We
on
can't play him regularly.
So, but that's different. So Ake's injury isn't going to subside. I think it's something that he's going to have to play through. I hear your point with regards to John Stones not being available, and if he's available for international break, that's going to bother me even more.
Oh, I'm going to be fuming.
But I'm going to leave that for another time. But yeah, if our current available defenders, not including academy players, is going to be O'Reilly, it's going to be Kusanov. We got to wait and see with regards to Gavardio. We got to wait and see with regards to Diaz. And we got Nunez and Ake. We have an issue.
Look at this here. I was saying about partnership on Wednesday against Brighton. It's going to be Kusanov and Ake. What defenders do you have on the bench? Because Diaz is not going to be there. Gavardio is not going to be there.
Yeah.
Stones is not going to be there. So who are you bringing off the bench? Academy players like Mfuni, who haven't actually had a proper opportunity to get first 10 minutes on the Pep as of yet. They're still young. So who do you have there? You're going to have to tell Ake, who's still nursing the injury that he got against Sunderland, to complete 90 minutes Wednesday, 2 days after we just played Chelsea today. You're going to tell him to complete 90 minutes alongside Kusanov.
Conway, are you fine with, let's say that Joseph Vardio is a long-term injury and the Diaz is a mid-term injury, right? Are you fine with getting like Magehi right now and accepting that Kusanov is probably not going to make it because realistically next season he's fourth or fifth choice centre back?
I think we have to get Mark Gahey 100% because Mark Gahey to me is the replacement for Stones or Ake or maybe even both. Even from a homegrown standpoint, it makes sense. And that's someone who's very comfortable on the ball that can help Kusanov. We could actually have a partnership of Gahey and Kusanov. We could have signed Gahey now and he'd be playing alongside Kusanov as we speak. But obviously the club are maybe trying to delay and see what we're going to look like from a defensive squad standpoint and see how these players are looking going towards the last week of January. But now they understand, and Pep knows this, that this can't continue for any long. I know Semenyo's coming through the door and that's great, but Mark Gahey is literally someone that's there available, 6 months left on this contract. That's a way easier deal to be done than even the Semenyo deal. I know Semenyo's a release clause, but Gahey is an easy one.
These injuries are scary. These injuries defensively are definitely scary because we had a very secure, reliable back four. And again, Pep not having much rotation with it, I was cool with because, I mean, physical, muscular injuries, they could happen, but they're not up and down the pitch like that. I mean, with the exception of the left back and right back. But I want to go to the comments real quick before I go to you, Spartacus, because Ketchum goes, but wouldn't you say something like, we are always in the market for the right opportunity, something like that? Saying no one is a bit odd. Pep's routinely saying he doesn't need another player. He says that, I think it's to instill the confidence that he currently has with regards to the players, but we also know this. Pep says this, and then the club goes out and gets players. Like, he said that all last season when we were losing our minds and when we had that terrible run. But what did the club do? The club went out and got said players, right? I also want to dismiss this myth. Sorry, and this isn't associated to you, Ketchum, but this Pep is playing his favorites and he's not playing the quote-unquote signed players of last year. Well, Pep integrates everybody slowly, with the exception of whether you're just like you're just on it, right? Even with regards to Shirky didn't hit the ground running. He had to get up to speed. I'm seeing too much of Pep didn't play Aitnori, didn't play Marmoush. Even with regards to Reinders and Shirky not playing, he brings them along because he needs to be able to trust them, and it takes time to grow the trust. Does he banish players? It's very rare that he's banished players, but when he has banished them, it's because they've shown not to be at the level with many opportunities to try and prove him wrong. So we need to kind of chill with this one. If we sign anybody, it's funny because if we sign a center back, if we sign like an 8 that has good defensive awareness and an engine, if we sign a player like that and we sign Semenyo, I'm like, Yeah, I mean these guys are on it. The club's on it. And who do they have to release to make all that stuff balance? On this show, I'm not discussing it. On CIA this week, game week 20, I'm not discussing who needs to be released, dropped, who needs to go out on loan, all that stuff for us to be able to have the squad that can manage moving forward. When we look at who's good to play health-wise and who's not available, who's not good to play, the club needs to make decisions because like Conway mentioned, we're not far off. But we're in a position where we can't do it with who's currently here. They're not healthy enough for us. Let me continue with the comments. Seas goes, he goes, Ash, Pep doesn't like leaving players home. That's why Bob is going this window. As a manager, you'd want your manager to have an affinity or have a desire to want the players that he has to play. Like the managers that are like, you're on my out list. I don't care about you. You can go train. You can go train at another pitch. I don't want to see you. I'm glad that Pep isn't like that. He wants to keep a squad where he knows he's going to have players dialed in because they know, hey, I have an opportunity to play. Whether it's a cup run, whether it's a late sub, whether it's being trusted because an injury does come up and you're playing early. Pep wants that rotation of players. Catch him. I don't think Gahey will leave. See. He's already been prepared to leave. I don't know why you think he wouldn't leave. He will have all the options in May plus a signing on bonus. True. There's a signing on bonus, but go ahead, Spartacus.
What if we just pay the signing on bonus now? Pay the money to Palace and pay the signing on bonus now.
Exactly. Or you kind of build it into again, he's going to be an English international. I don't know. He could demand a pretty strong salary despite being a first-year player at City. Like, he's got options. If we balance it right and he knows he's going to be... You know what? It would be a matter of him competing for the center back role, knowing that the club has Gavardiol and Diaz. And that takes a very unique player. That takes a very unique player to be like, you know what? I'm going to be competing amongst these two players for the entirety of my career here at City. And he may choose not to do that. We may have to go and get a player that's going to accept starting at times, but not being willing to compete. It's not easy. Catch him. He goes, you couldn't do it. He would have the option to go to Bayern, Real, Barca.
Barca not looking at him anymore.
Hold on, catch him. Not to be too disrespectful. I'm doing my best not to be too disrespectful. But this isn't the back in the day City either. Like, we're a prime destination. So yes, he has the option of Bayern and Real Madrid, Barca, but to stay in England and to have that English prop be at Manchester City where he's playing for all trophies, he might accept it. We've seen players leave and it doesn't look all rosy. Go ahead, Spartacus.
He's not on Barca's or Madrid's list anymore. They're not looking at him anymore. Bayern is looking at him, but Madrid and Barca,
yeah. I want to bring up this. This is a great point from JP. He goes, I'm not like opposition fans trying to just say sign this person and that person. City had enough to win the game today. They definitely did. We definitely did, even with the two unfortunate injuries. I think the injuries did invite Chelsea to gain confidence in the game and to go out and get that equalizer. But when we look at how do we sustain the rest of the season, and this, JP, you're spot on. We had enough. We didn't need signings to win this game. But if we look at the remaining 18 games of this season, we look at the League Cup, the FA Cup, and Champions League. If we are to seriously put forward a strong, confident effort, I don't think we do that as currently constructed. I really don't. The hopefulness that we had in terms of game management for Ake and Stones, I think that experiment is out the window. I don't think we can rely on those guys, unfortunately. And so I think we got to move for what's next. Go ahead, Conway.
No, I think Spartacus wanted to say something.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Spartacus.
Yeah, go on,
I was
Spartacus.
gonna say, I think it's all hanging on Josko's Valio's shoulder. I think he's just, as I said before, I think he's just as important as Rodri is to the side. Because realistically, I'm not counting with Stones anymore because unfortunately his body is just it's just not up to the standards that it needs to be.
Stones
And
isn't like his last name.
yeah, we just don't have another centre back who can consistently get the ball under pressure, break the lines, and find a midfielder with a good enough ball so that they can actually have possession of the ball.
I got you.
It's just
now.
It's all
Now
on
is Victor Reese left-footed or right-footed?
Right-footed, but he's not good enough yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah. Plus, recalling him doesn't make any sense because he's still developing as a player. So he'll probably stay at Girona for another year.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'd like to see him in the Premier League low next year. I think he's good enough to be at a, for example, Crystal Palace level side.
Yeah. Let me talk to my man Pancho real quick. We want to sign players that have that exact mentality, because he goes, man, if I was Gahey, I would back myself to beat out Diaz as a starter. We want to sign players that have that type of thinking, 100%. We don't want players that are like, I'll come to City, but what's my guaranteed starting time? Like, how do you see me fitting in? We don't want that. If that's one of the main questions that you're asking as a player, you're not right for City. Because we know Pep is going to be picking players based off of tactics and picking players based off of merit. You're going to earn your spot. And at times, do you earn your spot because he's got also gifts from rotation? Then you can also show and prove why you need to be in heavier rotation than what was kind of given to you beforehand. Daniel in the building, he goes, big up Vader. Obviously, he's saying that to Spartacus and Conway in the building as well.
I don't think so.
Insomniac goes, Man City was complacent because Maresca left. I feel we were so chill with the freaking ball. And we were so chill with the ball. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but I feel like Cherky, his style of play is so lull you to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, he stands in a position where he's not showing which way he's going to go. So he's very upright, kind of like, what is he doing here? But when he loses the ball that way, I'm like, why did you shield out? Why did you put yourself between the ball and the defender? I kind of lose it a little bit, and I felt he invited a little bit too much pressure at times, and I felt when we were in the final third, like, guys, show some urgency.
Do you know what annoyed me today, Vate, as well, yeah? Is that a lot of the time when we approached Chelsea's box, we just kept passing the ball. There was times where Cherky had the ball, and I'm just telling him, because he's both-footed, he can shoot with his left or right. There's an opportunity where you can just kill the ball, because they have Jorgensen as their goalkeeper, and I don't think if we just kept throwing an abundance of shots at him, maybe one, he's just going to punch it out slightly, and then someone will be there to put the ball away in the back of the net. We didn't shoot it enough today. When I saw Tijani Reinders go in the box when Reinders scored his goal, I thought he was going to pass it with his left foot to try and see if he can find Haaland. As soon as he got the ball, the first thing I told Reinders was shoot. Just please shoot. Because I don't feel like this team, they don't shoot the ball enough. We had a free kick right next to the edge of the box. Instead of deciding to try and shoot and test the goalkeeper, who's their number 2 goalkeeper, they don't even have Robert Sanchez in goal. What do? We try and cross it into the box and it gets cleared out. We're not shooting enough. Today would have been a game where if you have Marmoush on the pitch, you're seeing shots get let off right and left center.
Yeah.
And I would have loved that. If we had Marmoush in these last 2 games, I'm telling you, we get 6 points.
Oh, Marmoush is firing shots. Yeah.
Sunderland are defending deep. All you need is someone to lick a shot off outside the box, and then something can happen. Something can happen.
And I need this obviously because it was such a highlight. But you guys remember when we played against Gavardio in the Champions League? Holland had a madness. He's 6 goals. But I want to say 2 or 3 of those were because one of our players shot and he got on the end.
KDB,
got on the other end of it. Yeah. So I'm like, Holland has a magnet for the ball. Like, let's shoot. Obviously, don't just shoot to shoot, but pick a spot where you want to put it on target, And then I think he's just gonna naturally be quicker to react than the defender, and we're gonna put some shots away. I found it a little too nonchalant, where I think it was Shirky that kind of just lobbed it over top with a chance on that, rather than it being a direct shot on the keeper. We tried to lob it as you're describing, and Enzo cleared it out. But we have to fix up quick. And when I think of, as you mentioned, Marmoush and shots on target, I'm more and more excited for the Semenyo signing, Conway. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more and more excited for the signing, because Savinho hurt also raises that need. And okay, so I know you have your doubts about quality and what he can do, but a player of availability, a player that's shown that he can score, and he may not be asked to score the way he has, but to be attacking, I'm like, come to Manchester City, man. Come on.
No, but I feel like us as a fan base, I know a lot of people are excited about this Emmanuel signing, but I'm just telling you guys now, man, I wish him nothing but the best. As soon as you wear the City shirt, you know me, I'm supporting him. But I feel like people need to calm the expectations of it, because they're throwing the tag of him being a ready-made player. He's joining a team that's ready to compete now. We need ready-made guys. Just calm your expectations, man. He's a team that's got huge pressure. Huge pressure.
Let me boo this guy. No,
I'm just telling you, bro. It's the. Bro, when you wear the colors of this club, and you start wearing the shirt, bro, the pressure is gonna be immense. And you know, if he doesn't hit the ground running, people are gonna start talking bad things about him. And obviously, I don't wish that for him, but just calm your expectation, man. I'm doing.
No, listen. I'll let Spartacus go after I say this. My expectations are still going to be he's coming to Manchester City mid-season. It's not going to be all the way up here. I just need another body, another attacking body especially. And I think he can be very good for us down the road. I'm not going to say he's going to be lights out from the very beginning, but I do need another body. What were you going to say, Spartacus?
I just, with the Semenyo thing, I don't think he makes us win this game today. I don't think that was the issue. I'm gonna be honest.
Whoa. Hold on, we were already winning the game. You don't think he serves as a retained possession if he was in this game?
No. I think
okay.
If you want to play to retain possession, you're gonna fucking lose your mind, probably. I think Xavi is the better choice then. Because he recycles the ball more often than Semenyo does. Semenyo is a more direct player.
You know what? Hold on. Before Savinho's injury in the game that he just had, before that, I did criticize him for. What game was it? Was it the Forest game?
Sunderland.
It was Sunderland, where I was like, you don't need to shoot, Savinho. You don't need to force that pass and lose possession, Savinho. I do like him on the ball. His able to, again, retain possession and make decisions. Does he do it? Yes. Consistent enough? I don't know. But I think Savinho would give us that option as well. And I only say this because, again, Spartacus, Savinho's not available. So that's why I think he would be good for us. And I don't think he conflicts with us all healthy. I don't think when we're healthy with a Savinho, Doku, Marmoush, and Semenyo, I don't think there's really any balance issues.
I don't see the skill set of Semenyo helping us get control of the game today.
Okay.
If anything, I can see one scenario where he would actually help. But if you're in that scenario, then it's all going to shit already. Sorry for the wording.
Yeah, you're good.
Which is, you keep kicking the ball long, hoping for a 50-50 duel. Instead of just having Haaland to aim for, you have Semenyo to aim for, because it's actually quite good in the air as well.
Okay, hold on. There was a portion in the game, I wish I made note of this, but it went up to Haaland, and Haaland flicked it. I think he flicked it onto Bernardo or onto Shirky.
Foden.
It was Foden?
Foden.
Okay, he flicked it onto Foden. This is a portion of the game where I'm like, you got two physical, two physicals up top, I think the defenses are stressing. I think they're stressing on that one.
Just go on.
But like I said, that's the remaining 18 games, including cup runs, and this game in particular. I don't think we didn't need anybody new to have won that game. I think how we were defending to close out the game, how we were in possession, and a little too chill was why we. And again, we didn't lose the game. I see in the chat, and I've been saying it myself. We didn't lose the game. We obviously surrendered the late equalizer. What does this? Because I want to ask you guys this question, and I respect each and every one of you in the chat so very much. What does this now do for you for this title race? Are any of you conceding it?
I think it fully depends on Josko. It really does. If Josko is back and we can use him, title race is on. I think we can still win it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what I initially thought.
Okay.
But
you flip-flopping already.
But if Josko is not fit, I think that there is no hope. No
Hey,
hope.
do you remember the last CIA show that I think Sparkers was on? He said, if I'm not mistaken, that we're gonna win the league by 15 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Do you still believe that, Sparkers?
Not right now, no, not anymore.
See what I told you? I told you to calm down when he said that, but now
Like,
reality kicks in, innit?
And
Reality
it's not
hit
about
you
reality.
hard.
I wasn't expecting Josko to go down, I'm gonna be honest. I think Josko going down, every game that we play without Josko or a backup to him, I think we have
Okay,
to
what if
get
we
a draw.
okay, Sparkers, what if we sign Gehi next week? Do you still think we win the league by 15 points?
I think we already lost 2 games at that point that I don't think it's gonna get the points back. Even if we sign in next week, I don't think we win against Brighton without one of those two. And then we still have 2 more games to go, which gets the 15 games, the 15
All right,
points get to 5
Let me bring up the games real quick. So, because Conway mentioned it earlier, our next game is Brighton on Jan 7th, and then 3 days later in the the FA Cup third round, we're going to be playing Exeter. Whether
Throw away game,
do we throw away the FA Cup?
Alright, listen, it's gonna be embarrassing losing to Exeter at home, but
we can't throw that away, man. We can't throw it away. But
I don't think we need the starting lineup to beat them at home. Gonna be honest.
I hope not. But we're gonna see. Listen, we're not gonna see our strongest 11. Do we see? Let me say this. Do we see academy striker up front?
Yeah,
Do we see Rico Lewis in the midfield?
You'll see Semenyo's debut in that game. Semenyo's debut.
There we go.
And Kenny, because I think he's cup tied.
Oh, maybe. But okay, so we've got a league game, we got a Prem game on the 7th, we got FA on the 10th, we got League Cup on the 13th versus Newcastle, and then 10 days from league game to league game, on the 17th we play United away.
Whew.
Must win.
It's a big game.
I don't think if we don't have Josko or Gay, I don't think we win against Brighton or against Man United. I don't think we do.
All right. So we've got some injury reports to wait and hear from. I'm going to be listening and obviously all over Twitter X and Manchester City Plus and hearing who's trained or who hasn't trained because I got to know who's available.
You see me, yeah? You know when you was talking about the title race question?
Yeah.
I've always stood in the fact that, and I've always said this, title race to me is still way too early. And I know we've just passed the halfway mark of the Premier League. But when I was telling people to calm down when we was only 2 points behind Arsenal, obviously now it's 6, I was telling people to calm down because this squad, they still haven't had enough time for them to fully understand how to play with each other yet, because we don't understand how Marmoush and Nouri look in this team, because they will have to play a lot of games when O'Reilly can't play anymore and Doku or Foden or someone else in the attack can't play anymore. These guys still have to come into the team. And on top of that, you're signing maybe 1 or 2 guys in January. How is that going to look into the squad? I feel like the fact that we're even currently second in the league at the start of 2026, even though we're 6 points behind Arsenal, I'm looking at this and thinking, you know what, I'm not too mad at that because I understand the current situation we're at within the squad, the number of injuries that we've got. I feel like if we do end up signing obviously Semenyo's coming in, we signed a defender, and if we get a midfielder as well, if we make those 3 signings, then I feel like we can make a run at games and see where we're at by the next international break. But if we don't do that, then am I really going to be mad if we don't win the league? I'm just going to say, you know what, charge it to the game. We move on to next season, Pep's last season, and then we can give him a fully a goodbye present by winning the league next season. Farewell to him. But it is what it is, man. I feel like we just need to take it game by game.
We're definitely going to take it game by game, but this is what I'm not going to let you do, Conway. There's no throwaways. If we're not winning the league, there's no throwaway FA Cup game.
Nah, a Carabao Cup, we have to win that.
Carabao, yeah, but we're not throwing away the FA.
No, I was at the final last year with Crystal Palace, man.
That hurt me. That final hurt.
Yeah,
that final hurt.
I was there. I was at Wembley, man. So I'm not really trying to revisit the FA Cup. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying.
Conway, were you in the city or in the Crystal Palace?
Don't do that, Spartacus. Don't do that. This guy.
No comment.
This guy. I will say this real quick, and listen, the result horrible from an injury standpoint. I'm not losing my mind that it's a draw. I'm more upset. I'm more concerned with regards to the injuries.
Debate. We have to be honest. Today was embarrassing. Today it's embarrassing. They've got McFarlane, the guy that was there on the technical side for Chelsea. Have you ever seen that guy's face in your life, Leo? Be honest.
No, but the point is we surrendered a late winner. But before they scored that late equalizer, we should have been 3-0 up. Yeah, that's why I'm not losing my mind so much.
No, because we had the same problem when Savio missed 2 chances against Sunderland. Haaland missed a chance when Foden squared it up for him. I feel like we should have rectified the issues that we had against Sunderland. When people were losing their mind after the Sunderland game, to me that was a good point because Sunderland have been undefeated at home all season.
Yeah.
The fact that we got a point away to Sunderland, you have to accept that and be like, you know what, this is a long season. Tough grounds, you are going to have to walk away with just a draw. That's okay. But today you're at home against a Chelsea team who just let go of their manager, don't have Cucurella, Caicedo's not in the middle of the park. Achiampong is their right back who's naturally a centre back. Today we should have capitalised on the chances that we missed against Sunderland and rectified those issues today. And we didn't do that. The players today have to hang their heads in shame. And I feel like we have to be honest in that regard because today it's unacceptable by the players. I'm not blaming Pep, because he's not going to force these guys to try and score. He can't just, push them towards the goal physically. They have to do their job in the middle of the pitch. They never did that.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're saying the same thing because how Pep set them up, how the players were performing, everything but the final third. I mean, there were some portions on that pitch, possession-wise, I thought we were a little too lax. But everything but the final third, in terms of being clinical, I'm like, yeah, let's keep doing more of this. Let's keep doing this because we know when a goal scored, there's a shift. Even with what the manager does, even with regards to the players, we weren't putting those goals that just demoralize you, right? So we got to fix up in that regard. I see y'all in the chat. Who's coming through? Good looking out. I see. If you're new, subscribe. This is CIA. We do this every Sunday. Sit at Intelligent Agendas, and we discuss Game Week 20. It's been obviously an emphasis with regards to City because is it a crisis? Is it emergency? Is it a meltdown? Who really knows? I'm never going to title my video that way. But we had to discuss what's happening right now. And no one's crying, all right? Those of you in the chat, no one's crying with regards to injuries. But when we know who we're going up against, and in this season we're going up against a Arsenal, for you Arsenal fans in the chat, you've been 21, actually now because it's 2026, you've been 22 years celibate. You guys are so eager for this Prem, and you have a squad to go after it. We can't match your squad. So when we do have these injuries, we see it as a concern. So all I'm saying is that's the biggest drawback from this game. The injuries that we have currently is a huge drawback. I need to hear Pep, I need to hear the club give out these announcements on who's going to be available, who's not.
I've been having nightmares about Brighton for the past week. That Brighton game has been giving me nightmares. You know, when we were playing Sunderland, I'm watching the Sunderland game thinking about Brighton. Today I was watching the Chelsea game thinking about Brighton. This Brighton team, for some reason, under Fabian Herzler, has mastered how to play against City's Pep. This Herzler guy, this young manager, has mastered how to play against us. Because the last 3 times that we've come up against him since he become Brighton coach, we haven't managed to beat them. Early this season, they beat us. The 2 occasions that we played them home and away in the Premier League last season, they managed to get 4 points. This Brighton team pissed me off. I've been having nightmares for the past week, and now we're going into that game with a partnership of Kosanov and Ake, who we
you're already thinking about the matchup. We don't know. That's why I'm saying let's chill. We don't know what the matchup is. Let's hear what the injury reports are. Listen, as we are going to be playing Brighton, Arsenal are going to be playing Liverpool. Now, I'm not expecting Zane and the Liverpool fans out there to do us any favors. I'm not expecting that. But they do have a tough game to be played as well. You got Wirtz, who's now got his scoring boots, his shooting boots. You've got a balanced team with regards to what Slot's doing. No Salah to have to deal with any type of managing players and egos. That's going to be an important game. They play on the 8th, so they play after we've played. So maybe we can apply a little pressure when we play Brighton. But everybody in the chat, I hope you've enjoyed this show. I see y'all in the comments, Insomniac, people coming through the number. As you come in, hey, it's just customary. Take your jacket off, take your shoes off. That's hitting that like button. Spartacus, Conway, mad respect, regulars with regards to us talking CIA. I know we're kind of spread right now. We've got some crisis. We've got some emergency meetings. We got some, this club has failed us. This season's a write-off. I'm willing to just hear some more information before we go and lose our
hopefully we get good news tomorrow. Hopefully
with regards to good news, we get some good news, player availability, or what the injury is. If it's like muscular, hopefully it's nothing tendon, hopefully it's nothing strained like that. Yeah, but I'm gonna be as optimistic as I can. I want to also go ahead, Spartacus, go ahead.
What I heard from the Yosko thing, I'm not optimistic about. I heard that he had already a little bit of a knock in his foot, and if that's the same foot that he's sprained, because I think it's a sprained ankle. If it is the same foot that he had an issue before, I think it could be very bad. If it isn't, then I think it's a thing of about.
Oh, you mean the injury that kept him out previously? What kept him out for weeks before?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
If it is on the same foot, it could be really, really bad. I mean, probably surgery level bad, because that's the same thing I had this year.
Okay.
If it isn't on the same foot, I think it's just a couple weeks. A couple weeks, and he should be back.
We're gonna give Gavardio. We're gonna send him our prayers, our good wishes. Hopefully, it's nothing too severe. Those of you that have tuned in, not been here for a while, or have never been here, easy. Subscribe, hit the notification, the bell, so you know when I'm live. Spartacus, knowledgeable. Conway, knowledgeable. We're going to be here again next Sunday to talk CIA. And I'll send out the link. I do a match reaction after each and every game. Sometimes these guys are on the ground. Conway attending games. Spartacus doing his breakdowns as well. But please, don't miss out on any future content from me. I'm sure there's going to be some conversations on Twitter X. Mancunian Way, Martin, great channel, True City fan, and Patrick and everybody over there, great channel, and Pitch Points Gundalorian. Show some love. This is going to be a stressful one. I'm not going to lie to you. Arsenal take the advantage and are now 6 points up game week 20 on City. Now, it is not over. It is not over. We're intelligent over here. Arsenal lose a game. City keep winning. They're 3 points up on us. There is a game to be played. City versus Arsenal. My biggest concern, guys, is that this goal differential is now even. I hate that the goal differential is now tied up. It's all even.
No, we're going to score more goals than them. Arsenal don't score enough goals. We're going to beat them in that department.
No. We're already killing them with regards to goals scored, but it's not just goals scored.
Just goals conceded, yeah.
Yeah, we got to calm that down a little bit. That's what we got to fix up a little bit.
But I haven't been conceding many goals in the past few games.
No, see, I'm trying to keep that under wraps a little bit, because if you look at the goals against, they've conceded 14, we've conceded 18. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
It really isn't crazy. But we need to fix up in terms of our goal differential, 100%. Now it's even, 26-26. We gotta fix it up a little bit. But listen, everybody in the building, thanks for being a part of this show. I do have to shut down. It is 7 p.m. my time. It's midnight for Conway. What is it? Is it 5? What time is it for you, Spartacus?
9.
It's 9 for Spartacus. So listen, we're gonna shut down. Catch us on the next one. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. This was CIA, Sit at Intelligent Agendas. We did rival club agendas after game week 20. Obviously, we had to talk about the unacceptable unacceptable draw to Chelsea and Arsenal going 6 points clear, top of the league. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Guys, thanks so very much. I'm shutting this down. Enjoy this outro. I am working on a new one for 2026, but one of my favorite shows is Why Always Me, and take a look at some of my past thumbnails.